the mirror, spitting image of the health that I've neglected. Maintaining wealth made me selfish. Can't tame the hell that I was dealt, still I prevail out the well. Man, I'm sinking in my lows, baritone with the vibe, like reaching for my goals. I just can't get the time right. Feelings get exposed when I roll up a dime. Where to go? Niggas clones trap souls in their minds. I ain't Bryson, still I'm piping till her back break. Know when you approach me though, better have your facts straight. Information's currency. Really though, I'm stacking for a rainy day. Stash so I can make a way. Loading in this COVID while I'm trying to mask the pain away. Fuck it though, I'm focused. I can't let the passion fade away.
Right now,
guess who? Nobody got nothing on us.
You're locked in to the greatest station, GRIZZBIZ, my 2 cents.
Keep the trigger tucked on your block, cause it's hot and these cops scared. Shit, we keep getting shot and it's
not. Yep. Like we say, we are back at it, ladies and gentlemen out there in social media land, YouTube world, Facebook, Instagram, all of it, TikTok, Snapchat, all of it. We welcome you to the GRIZZBIZMY2SENSE show. As you can see, I'm solo today. Brother man, the big homie, I guess he was working hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it 100. You know what? That Negro was out there, man. Him and this one cat, man, D-Block, man. These two cats go. I ain't never seen somebody play hard like they do Tunk, man. They play Tunk hard. So he probably wore out from playing Tunk. You know what I'm saying? But he'll be back next week. So let's give the big homie a round of applause. And I had a surprise for y'all today, and I'm gonna keep it a surprise and see if they go ahead and jump on in, if they're able to join in today. But we got a good show lined up for you today, man. It's June, and it's Men's Mental Health Month. So every year we try and get somebody on here that's a professional that can let the people know what's going on. And today's guest is Miss Ahja Harris from Eagle Mind Coaching and Counseling. And it's her own business and practice. So we're going to talk with her today about men's mental health. So let's give that a round of applause when she jumps in here. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about our sponsors, the people who support GRIZZBIZMY2SENSE podcast.
D-Block,
The champ is here.
fucking with the champion. You already know.
They loving that barbecue. You understand me? So go on over there to Goodies Barbecue in the heart of Mount Healthy. Catch them all around the city. On Friday nights, catch them in front of Vince's place right there in Mount Healthy. The truck, you know what the truck looks like. You know what I'm saying? And when you go to the store, just say my 2 cents and receive a 10% discount on your food. Now, everywhere he go, this man be selling out with them rib tips. You understand? The rib tips be gone. Because I had to go back and get more. Had to go back and get more. Go back and get more.
D-Block,
The champ is here.
fucking with the champion. You already know.
10% discount on your order. Let's give Goodies Barbecue a round of applause.
Let's get your home charging station installed the right way. Jarman Home Solutions is a licensed electrical contractor serving Greater Cincinnati and Greater Dayton, specializing in EV charger installations for all makes and models. Whether you drive a Tesla, Ford, Chevy, or Rivian, our team delivers clean, professional installs you can trust. Most installs are completed in just one day, so you can charge at home and hit the road with confidence. Power up the smart way. Call or message Jarman Home Solutions and get your garage EV ready today.
Let's give Jarman Home Solutions a round of applause. Check them out too. You can use the promo code My2Cents and receive a discount on your service. Next up, we got next up. That's right. We got my homeboy. That's right. Linked Up Auto Care. Man, this guy's booked, but he make times for you. The new location over on Center Hill Drive. Just go on over there, get your car worked on. You can use the promo code My2Cents. Certified mechanics. They back what they do. And I wouldn't trust my car with too many people, but Linked Up Auto Care. So go on over there and get your service done. And while you're over there, you can also buy a car. That's right. You can also buy a car from Capsule Auto. That's right. Right in front when you come out there, there's affordable car financing right there on the spot. Man, the one car the lady got, I told y'all the story, how she tripped me. I got my eyes. Well, I ain't going to tell you. I ain't going to tell you. It's still right there, so I ain't going to tell y'all what it is. But go on over there and get your car worked on or buy you a car. And use the promo code My2Cents and receive a 5% discount on your service or purchase. Let's give Linked Up Auto Care and Capsules a round of applause. Next up, we got Dank Nation. www.danknation.co. Go on over there. Get you some seeds, premium seeds. Everything is about growing. If you ain't growing, you ain't knowing. And we're making that transition ourselves, not only with our own plants that we have, but we also are doing what Mr. Green Thumbs, my partner, is doing is every day on social media with food. The way food is right now, you definitely need to start growing your own. And while you're growing your food, you might as well grow your herbals. So go to Dank Nation, CO, and get you some premium seeds and some hot gear too. Use the promo code My2Cents and receive a 5% discount on your purchase. Let's give www.danknation a round of applause. That's what's up. That's what's up. So we got that taken care of. And the call-in line is 513-788-2534. You're welcome to call in and shoot your trap, your mouth, do whatever. I don't care. Call in. But it's a lot going on in the world right now, man. It's a whole lot going on in the world right now. Iran, there's talks of World War III. It's so many distractions, so many things going on. It's ridiculous. I wish you pull up some footage of what's going on over there, headlines of what's going on over there, man. It's just the world is in shambles. Your world might not be in shambles, and I know people like that. When they step outside, can't nothing interrupt they swag, they shine, or whatever the word you want to use. They day. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is happening over there. And right now it's not affecting them personally. And if it does, I mean, some people roll with the punches. Some people roll. Okay, eggs is $6-7 for a carton of eggs. Or gas is we used to 289, $2.99, $3.15, all of that good stuff. And shoot, this gas higher than that. So the food, I just talked about the food that we eat is always contaminated over here. You got presidents over here just acting a goddamn fool. And that's just on the outside. That's just outside of Cincinnati. Now, what's going on in Cincinnati is truly, it's not mind-boggling because it's happened plenty of times. But it's just wondering, like, how long is this going to happen? What type of change can we do to stop this? And I don't think there's anything that we can do to stop it, for real. I don't see, because when you post about it and talk about it like we doing now, you got people up there that this person deserves to do this, do that. You play with this and you play silly games and all type of disrespectful stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the people that are making these comments, and I'm not singling anybody out, but the people who make these comments, I wonder, like, if you put yourself in their shoes, My kids will never do this, and my kids will never do that, and we ain't blah blah blah. That's all, folks. That's some bull crap for real. Like I said, I don't care if you come from 2-parent, 1-parent, gay upbringing, this, that, and the third, transgender, blah 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 blah. You could raise a child up and to do good, and anything can happen. Any bad decision can happen. And for a child to lose their life over a bad decision by somebody that's sworn in to protect and serve the community, that ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. And what we do as a people, we'll sit back here and make posts about it, and the division to come in. The people will start, like I said, he deserve it, and then the other ones, like myself and others, what can we do? My old ass is not going to be down there rioting. I'm not going to be tearing nothing up. I ain't going to be tearing nothing up. I'm not going to be doing that. I went down to one where they was rioting, and I saw the dumbest stuff in the world. It said never again. I saw people turning over garbage cans and stuff that we wouldn't even nowhere. Well, we wasn't too far from where they was at, but it was close enough. Like, are you serious? And then we hit the corner. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get locked up for this. I'm not gonna be down there with the signs. And now you see people all over the country with this deportation, and it all ties into together, right? So I'm sure y'all seen where they are paying people to act a fool. Now we've seen them, Black Lives Matter, these videos, TikTok, this, that, and the third, of paid actors, people to go do what they do. We even seen it in the Diddy case, right? People were paid to wear T-shirts saying they support Diddy or whatever the case may be. And this is why I and others like myself say, pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what's going on. There's a reason for all this stage actory, this buffoonery that's going on, man. It's a reason for that. But back here at home, what can you do? Let's see. We have Fanon Rucker representing the Hinton family. And there's so many layers to that I don't even want to get that deep into that right now as far as that. But all I'm going to say, some blues clues to that, is I posted the interview with Mr. Rucker. It was one of the nicest interviews we did, man. He gave an insight to his perspective, his experience inside the justice system. And when I say this, blues clues and conspiracy that people want to throw at me, I'm going to say it one more time for blues clues. Go check out that interview with Mr. Rucker and then see what's going on, tie that in with today and the system and all of that. What is that? Hey, man, that was a funny person. But anyway, yeah. So check that out, man, because it's really, it's all smoke and mirrors, man. We didn't have video footage, not all of it released. We didn't have this happening. It's supposed to be all types of evidence. Then we got the new prosecutor. I can't remember her name. Not even worth saying. Her being in cahoots and covering over it. Then you got the mayor who's not saying nothing about this at all. Him or the other young gentleman. It's just too much going on in the city, man. And people don't give a damn. Then you have white folks. You have some folks, white folks, that but they not gonna get out here and go do You got a couple like in Lincoln Heights when it happened on the bridge. You had a couple up there afterwards and so forth, and doing their thing or whatever they want doing. But you don't see the LGBT community out here when these type of things happen. You don't see none of that happening, man, especially in our city. And Black Lives Matter was a waste of time, a waste of nothing. That's what it was. You don't even see them people no more. You ain't see none of that type of protest and none of that, this, that, and the third. You know why? Because they exposed them girls. They exposed them girls for the crooks they is and the people and the dude that they work for, the billionaire dude that they work for. So it's a shamble. But in my hometown, I laid out a plan that I thought would benefit us and the movement, and it utilizes social media and putting together a campaign because most people, like I said, it's not going to go down there and riot. Ain't nobody going to be down here marching with no signs. We've done that so many times, and it's the same result. Now, if I told you it was a bigger picture than what you see, you would call me crazy. You would call me nuts, and you would call me conspiracy. No matter how many times we've told you or showed you 3-4 years ago episodes of things we said was going to happen, not because of discernment, being able to see. And it's happening. I've had so many black people get upset over Obama, and they just now figuring out that he was part of the plan too. They all part of the plan. They all got a issue to play. So it all ties in to people's and their lifestyles and everything that's happening, man, in Cincinnati for real. Our politicians, they don't give a damn. I'm good now. All they want to do is get in there and make sure money get funneled their way. Whatever projects that's already got going, that's been in motion for years. Years. You can't go in there and rock the boat without having a solid game plan and being true to yourself and saying, hey, I really want to make this change. So most politicians, most of us to get in there, either try and buck the system and try and I'm going to do what they're going to do and give me some money and they're going my terms. I watched a lot of TV shows and you have too, and y'all know how corruption works. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen how corruption works, especially in the good old boy system. You can't go in there bucking like that and thinking you're going to do the same goddamn thing they doing. Nah, you got to move smoother than that. You got to move quieter than that. You got to be able to blend in and then have people on the outside working with you. And the people on the outside are your voters. If you really want to get serious about it, those are your people. Those are the ones who support you. Those are the ones who have an agenda and support you to make sure that you are following an agenda. I can't remember the name for that. Mine is drawing a blank right now. But that's how you do it. You groom the candidate up. The people get behind them and groom them up. You get with the older folk in the neighborhoods, and you do it quietly, man. You don't be out here on no P. Diddy stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And flagellating and all that good stuff. You don't do that, man. You have to be able to really want to change if that's going to be the end goal. But the way the system is set up, it won't be a change. It won't be a change. It's not enough people in city council that want to do that, man. So we will forever be the city on the brink of change, but it won't happen. You got 3DC, whatever that place is, buying up everything. You know what I'm saying? We got a mayor that don't give a cahoots about us. And it's just not us. And I just want to say us, because this includes other folks, man, that this city could really be great. Be a changing city, but there's too many people that are. Wait a minute, who is that? That are not for change. I think it's a mental health issue for real. That's what it is. Everybody got mental health issues, and that's what we're gonna delve into right now. Um, I can't see. Let me take these out. These lights are bright. Is that our guest? Hello, hello.
Hey.
All right, 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 all right. Let's give it up for Miss Ahja Harris. You know, and she's on the show today because we're talking about men's mental health, and she has her own business. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, Ahja?
Okay. Again, my name is Ahja Harris, and I am owner of Ego Mindset Coaching and Counseling. I actually have an office here in Middletown, Ohio. It's part of the Highview Wellness Center. And like I said, it's located out here in Middletown. Been out here since 2020 in my own space, in my own personal business, and enjoying it. It's doing good. Grateful to be able to help people with all kinds of mental health issues. Do a lot of work around anxiety, depression, PTSD is kind of my expertise per se. And, you know, just done a lot around mental health over the last, let's see, since like 2012.
So let me ask you. So your own business and doing what made you want to get into mental health?
Well, I always kind of had a kind of been led to it, I guess. My mom used to always say, you know, people always come to you for advice. You know, you always kind of that sounding board, handle things well. So when I got into college, originally it was going to be psychology, but then along my road of, you know, just working and being in the community and helping, I was working with Head Start actually. And I used to work with a therapeutic preschool program. And that program kind of really pushed me into where I am today. I started working with kids who had open cases with children's services. All the kids in that program did, and was led to social work as part of that program. And, you know, I just kept going. You know, I saw the need for working with people, you know, working with children. I used to think that, you know, what is wrong with these parents? Why would they treat their kids that way? But now that I've also started working with adults, I could see, you know, issues along the way that people deal with and, you know, kind of lead to some of the situations that they get into. So it's been a long road, you know, to be able to help people in this way. And so, like I said, in like 2012, started working more in depth in the mental health community and working in like community health centers, working in the hospitals, whether it was like Kettering Hospital or Beckett Springs, which is a mental health substance abuse hospital. I did that for a while. So I have worked in like different aspects of mental health for a while, and then just wanted to branch out into working with people individually.
That
So
is
that's what
wow.
I'm doing now.
You know,
Yeah, it's been a
my
while.
daughter works at that behavioral thing the place that you was just talking about. So you mentioned
Okay.
kids. Were
Uh-huh.
you out in the field, or did they come to your office? How did you how did that work?
Well, when I worked with kids, it was through Head Start. So they were in the classroom, but we always had to do home visits. So we got to see if they were at home. You know, we worked with the home, you know, whoever was taking care of them, whether it was a grandparent or their parents, or if they were in foster care.
Was it all bad conditions that you saw children, and was it of different races or how did?
Yeah, I started out actually like around Hamilton County, most like the Kemper Heights. I don't know if you remember Kemper Heights Head Start. That's kind of where I started.
Yeah, my
So
mother-in-law worked there too.
she
All right,
did, and that's what
Debbie. Mom,
got.
let's give moms a round of applause.
Yeah,
She always start with that.
yeah, so she was a great woman, and you know, also was encouraging to me along with all the other women that worked there. Still love them. Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of where my passion for this started, because I used to start being able to go to conferences and learning about the brain and how trauma affects kids and trauma affects the brain in general. And it just, really interested me. So I just kept going with it.
Did you have to remove kids?
No, children's services wasn't one of the jobs that I sought out to
Okay,
do
that's
as
a
a
whole
social
different
worker.
thing.
Yeah,
But
they
you
were
did.
already removed by the time they got to me. So I was part of the process of helping them.
Okay, all right. So, when dealing with kids, did you have a classic term that you would diagnose the children with, or do you give diagnosis or counseling? Which was it? Well, I would have
Oh,
that.
not at that age. Now I do. Now I can. Yeah. So a
Okay.
lot of it, yeah, as a once I got my license as a licensed social worker, and really as a licensed independent social worker, you can diagnose if independently, and I can bill insurances and things like that. So yeah, I do diagnostic work for sure now. Mhm.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this. Now it's men's mental health, and we're just gonna make that transition. Um,
Yeah.
you dealt with kids, and I guess kids just all from all ages, from what age from to teenager?
Um, well, like I said, it was preschool, so that was 3 to
Oh,
5 back
preschool, that
then.
was it. Yeah.
Yeah, but now I see kids around 10 and up. I usually don't go into more of the play therapy stuff. I'll see kids with anxiety, some depression, and that, some behavioral issues, things like that.
So when you say depression, who do you see more of, children or adults?
I see more adults now.
You see more
I,
adults.
I do.
And the percentage, I don't have it up right now, but I think Black men who seek mental health, help with the mental issues, I think was like 26%.
Yeah,
Asians was like
it's about half.
25%, and can Caucasian, I think, was like 45% went to go get help.
Yeah,
And I can't.
I definitely see more Caucasian males than Black or any other race, really. Yeah.
Is that through
They,
programs or is that through private practice? Do they reach out to you?
so I'm a private practice. They seek me. Yeah. That I currently work. They have a referral system in place too. So people come in and they are looking for services, and so um, we talk and decide whether or not it's going to work, and so they stick around more than my Black clients do, actually.
Really?
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah.
due to money, or is it just the stigma, the stereotype that, hey, I'm not going to talk to a person like you, or I'm not going to get no help, or how?
Um, so just in talking in general with just Black men, I think they struggle with um, not, feeling really nervous about it. The ones that I have come in, like they're really anxious when they first come in, because I think there is this stereotype that this person's gonna tell me what to do. They're not gonna help me. I'm only coming because my wife mad at me or my girl something happened, right? Or either some might be some legal situation. Sometimes there's different reasons that they get prompted to come in. Um, but a lot of times when I get them in the door, then we can work. But it's them in the door that it
So
usually is some factor that brings them in. Mhm.
is it mostly job? Is it job related, or have you? Is it private?
Sometimes, more of it has to do, a lot of times it's some around like relationship issues, or they're just struggling with some trauma that they've been through.
That's what I'm
Or
saying. How did they get to you? That's what was it? Them reaching out to you? Was it through the insurance or something like that? That's what I'm trying to get at,
yeah,
because there's a
you can
disconnect.
find me, like if you're searching Black therapists, and put your zip code in, I will come up in most cases. And so I'm out here in the Middletown area, so that's who I get. I get people out this way for the most part. So I get people from Dayton, Butler County area for the most part. Yeah. So I'm on psychology today. Also, I specialize in EMDR, which is a type of therapy that deals with trauma. And so, if that's something that you're looking for, that's another route on how people find me.
When you what classifies it as trauma? That's a big word, long range.
But just you classify it as trauma. If you feel like you have been in a traumatic situation, and you're experiencing symptoms around, anxiety symptoms, so that would mean that if it's trauma related, a lot of times it's affecting how you function. So you are struggling to sleep, you're struggling to focus and be able to concentrate. You have intrusive thoughts, you have intrusive dreams, nightmares. You feel, people talk about panic attacks and feeling like they can't be in public spaces, or they can't go in certain places because they get triggered easily. So it just depends. Yeah. But those are kind of some of the symptoms of PTSD. It's an intrusive, you just, don't feel like yourself because of something that happened that made you feel threatened or in danger.
That's interesting. I was thinking while you was talking, like, the difference in nationalities that come in, Black men and white men, are the reasons similar? Do they have the same issues? Because we're just trying to break the
Oh,
stereotype
actually,
with
yeah.
this mental health. And, because I'm about to ask you something else, but I want to know, like, are they similar? Is it more this? Is it what's the
The
biggest cause?
issues, yeah. So, the human experience, a lot of times they can come in for similar reasons. Now, how their belief systems are ingrained, they come from a different upbringing or different situations growing up. But for the most part, it could be, common situations, like I said, relationship issues, something happened on the job, or car accidents. Now, I have had, some Black brothers come in that has issues around the police. I've had, just a few of those, not too many so far, but and then now, veterans, getting more veterans that are coming in. So yeah, it can definitely be, Black men can definitely have some unique experiences, especially when it comes to jobs, and being treated certain ways. Um, but
And
more
that's
often than not, people's experiences are somewhat common.
common experiences,
Mhm.
no matter what color you are. So
Yeah.
you said something very interesting, and which was belief system, because you have people who believe in a creator, a God, a Jesus, or whatever, and they're not whatever, Yahuwah, Hebrew name, Yahushua's
Hmm.
son. So, um, but these entities, and then you have folks who do not believe at
Yeah.
all, what type
Yeah.
of no type of spirit or nothing. So, what is the difference in how you would counsel somebody with different belief systems, where somebody believes in God and somebody don't believe in God, when we all know that mental health really
Mhm.
is, I believe, a spirit, what I'm saying, is what I'm trying to
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, what I do, I have people who definitely are believers and some who are not. It is a little more difficult because I think the people who are not, they're a little more, they don't have as much hope in things getting better, and they can definitely think a lot more negatively. And that can be a little harder to break through because they don't see any positives, right? I think when you have a relationship with God and a higher, when you know, a higher being than yourself, right? When you believe, for me, I believe, you know, I consider myself also to be a Christian counselor. So I'm definitely not pushing beliefs, but I do bring it up. And that's part of our diagnostic, to ask people, what is it that you believe? And so either, you know, if I'm not familiar with it, they educate me. But I've had people from, you know, who, like I said, don't believe in God at all. But my goal is to help them understand how their beliefs and their behaviors affect their lives, and work on making the changes they need to make in order to be better people in general. So sometimes that is exposing them to the possibility that you are mind, body, and spirit, and you have to work on all three of those things. So how are you working on your mind? How are you working on your body? How are you working on yourself spiritually as well? Because we are all three. So that's important.
That's very important. And I think it would be difficult trying to explain that to somebody who does not believe in a higher power. And I also
Mm-hmm.
find it not to say anything negative about counseling or anything, or psychiatry or anything of that nature, psychiatrists, because I've seen professional help too. So I can see the
Mm-hmm.
benefits of it and the downside of it too. But
Yeah.
I truly believe that trauma and things that we've been through in our childhood or
Mm-hmm.
back then, I use the word back then. I'm an adult
Okay.
now. So
Yeah.
I don't want to keep going back. Me and my co-host is supposed to be here. Let's give Nadia a round of applause. She's in the studio. That was a surprise, so maybe we'll get her up there. But we had this discussion last night and before, probably last year on the other show. But
Mm-hmm.
the spirit, I forgot my train of thought. But
That's okay.
yeah, where was I going? Oh, demons and things like that, and spirits,
Mm-hmm.
and your spirit. That's real stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that we should be telling folks to go back and relive this trauma. Why do I got to keep talking to you about
Mm-hmm.
this trauma? Do I
Well,
make sense?
so there's a difference between, you know, the senses and trauma, right? So for me, going back is very important, because what happens with trauma is that it still lives in your brain and in your body. So there's even, you know, when I work with people with EMDR, we often have to get to the root of what's going on with you. So everything that you see and hear and experience through your senses are stored in your brain. So the limbic system is part of the brain that holds your memories. It holds your experiences, right? So
Mhm.
people forget that, how people don't understand necessarily how the brain operates. It's created to help you survive and to stay safe, right? So
Mhm.
in order for that to happen, every experience that you take in from childhood is stored, and it is there to help you. So even though you might help, you know, for somebody, I recently had a man who, he's been married, you know, like 20 something years. And his daughter was being bullied. And that experience, watching his daughter go through the bullying situation, triggered him to remember his abuse, and he became suicidal. Now, he had never experienced any mental health issues per se. His wife was not even aware of what was going on, but because his his brain and his body brought those memories back, they never got dealt with appropriately and stored in the brain the right way, they activated, right? It just like activated in his brain and in his body, and he became like panic attacks. Anxiety was very bad. He ended up having to go like in the hospital to get managed, and he still, you know, um, he became suicidal because in his mind, I don't know, he went away. Hello? Well, I don't know. What happened? I know it's storming around here. Here. It was a good interview. That was good. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Go right back to it. PJ said, just one moment, y'all. Wait a minute. Okay, y'all. PJ got a power outage because of the storm. So anyway, I'll just I keep talking about trauma all day. So basically, what I was saying was basically with trauma, it because it's stored in the brain and the body still, it is very, it takes some expertise to process it and get it moving in the right direction so that you can function and not be triggered and not have all these horrible experiences resurface over and over again. So it's EMDR, which is the type of therapy that I do. I mean, there's all kinds like cognitive behavioral therapy. There is cognitive processing therapy. A lot of people go to different things, you know, and we have to process things through our senses. So doing kind of mindfulness exercises, sensory experiences kind of can help you. Deep breathing, all those kind of coping mechanisms are good and helpful. But there are some, you know, lots of things that can be done in order to help somebody process what they're going through. So for me, EMDR, I have found to be very effective with my clients. And it stands for eye movement, desensitization, reprocessing. And like I said, it is a specialized training. And you can definitely, it's something you have to get certified in. It takes a little while it's taken probably like a year or two to complete, you know, work on it. And there's always something to learn because everybody is different and people need things, you know, done individually to what they need and what their plan is and what their symptoms are. So that's pretty much what's going on with the treatment, you know, that can be helpful in processing memories, because what you're doing is when you are into what, you know, a lot of people hear about fight or flight. There's also freezing and fawning. So even understanding what that looks like and feels like is something that people need to learn. And so when you're dealing with those things, you would classify as triggers, wouldn't you? So yeah, well, triggers is what activates how you feel. So when, you know, for instance, bitten by a dog as a child and now you're scared of dogs, right? We got to go back to that scenario and help your brain realize that that scenario did happen to you, but it's not happening right now. So a lot of times when, you know, when somebody has gone through something very traumatic and they're still really scared about it or scared easily, it's because they almost feel like it's about, you know, they're going to be hurt again. And so the brain's job is to remind you there's a danger. But if you never really process that danger as, yes, happened in the past, it's not happening to you right now. You know, yes, you might get startled and you might run, you know, jump, but you're not going to just be afraid of all dogs, right? It's not going to get generalized into a whole nother into every dog, being scared of every. So it just kind of helps to, it's like calming down the symptoms so that you can function and, you know, live your life without necessarily being scared of every dog that you come by. So that's
interesting, though. That question, I was like, why do you want to keep bringing it back up? Why do you want to keep bringing it back up?
Yeah.
And indulging in it, well, for it to come back up, it would have to be some type of trigger. Like, you're right. Now, I can think in my head all my childhood trauma.
Okay.
I can think of, and I've got to the point now at that age, if I see something to remind me of my childhood trauma, or somebody says something or had the experience of it, I got to process it now. Like, yeah, that happened, but put it back here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch it. I guess a lot of, is it compartment?
Yeah, you can compartmentalize stuff, but if you, you know, are walking down the street and this dog jump at you, you about, you know, die. You know, it's kind of, then maybe you need to, you know, go back and process what happened to you. So that's like a simple example, but you know, people definitely have more traumatic things happen and it gets generalized. So what I do know is that every experience has a root to it. And so with that root, you develop a belief system about yourself and about the world and about, you know, what's going on around you. And so if you have situations that constantly come around and validate that, then you're always going to still struggle with that situation. So that's why it's good to kind of understand, okay, when did this first happen to me? And how do I process it so that I can move on with my life and not be triggered all the time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he's getting everything started. I think we're going to have to, even though you might be still live, it's shut off here. So I don't think we are actually talking to anybody, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she's still live, actually. That's funny as hell. So we still. She's still up. I don't know how that works. I don't either, but hey, we're still doing the daggone thing. If we had the thing over, get round of applause. Yeah, sir. Exactly. See what happens? See how we deal with trauma? Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah.
See how we deal with trauma? But back to being serious right here.
Okay.
With black men, how do we reach more individuals, black men in general? Because, like I said, the tactics.
So, they say like 1 in 3 black men come to, you know, follow through on therapy, which, you know, definitely needs to be more. Or they might receive, not really go to therapy, receive some type of mental health treatment. So some of them might just think, I'm gonna go get some medication and I'm gonna deal with it. I don't need to talk to anybody. So they don't come to therapy and deal with the situations and process things properly. So medication is just kind of like 40% of the, you know, help that you need. It doesn't help with the underlying issue, right? Like I said, getting to the root of the issue. So sometimes it's medical issues. So what I do, my goal is to help you figure out, okay, what needs to happen in order for you to feel better? Is this a medical issue? Is this a mental issue? Or is it a combination of both? And I definitely encourage people to, you know, do supplements and try different things before they go to the medication, because sometimes it doesn't require medication. People just kind of jump to that because it's an easy fix. But I think that there's as far as like getting people to come in and feel comfortable with it, it's just doing things like what you're doing now and bringing about awareness. NAMI is a good organization. Just actually looking through their stuff, and they mentioned a program that is now working with barbershops. It's called the Confess Project, I believe. But it was really cool because, you know, when men go into the barbershops, y'all, right? You're talking about stuff, but you're talking to it amongst people who have maybe the same issue. So everybody's just talking about the issue, but not necessarily getting to the resolution of the problem. And so, you know, that's a good place to possibly start, you know, encourage you know, people to get out and follow through on professional treatment. So, you know, talking to your doctors, I know, you know, insurance sometimes is an issue, but I do feel like with Obamacare and things like that have come out, it's allowed people to be able to get insurance. Like I have to get that myself because as a, you know, owner, I have to get insurance. So, and then people have insurance and they don't utilize it for whatever reasons, right? I get that people are working and maybe they don't have the time, but I do find that people will make time for the things that are important to them. They will spend the money on the things that are important to them. And I see that in other communities more than I do in the Black community at times. Like we prioritize, you know, looking good.
This is true.
Yeah, we do. And so, you know, impressing one another, right? While others are dealing, you know, they will pay for their medical health needs, go to the dentist, get the eyeglasses that they need, or come to the mental health therapy. And the numbers kind of show that, like you said, it's like 26% of Black men will come to get services, while as many in the white community do. So you know, unfortunately, I experienced that as a therapist. And I do believe, you know, I am in an area, it's kind of mixed. You know, I think people think Middletown has a lot of, you know, mixed, it's a mixed community, Butler County in general. And then I also get people from Dayton. So I think that people, that men want to feel comfortable, they want to feel safe, they want to feel heard. And when you find the right person, that's what you get. But you got to seek that person out. And it might take a time or two for you to find the right one, but it's important to do that. So, and it is the job of the therapist to make you feel safe enough to be vulnerable and talk about what's really going on. And sometimes that takes a little time. And money.
Right. And money. Well, I'm going to back up a little bit. You said medicine. Do you distribute medicine? Can you write prescriptions?
No, I don't do prescriptions.
No prescription.
Nope.
So what would make you to say this person needs a prescription in your diet when you're in your session, your therapy session?
So it might be that we've been working together for a little while and I don't see any improvements in their symptoms getting better. Like I said, I think people, it's a mind and a body issue a lot of times. And so when people are having these, you know, panic attacks or anxiety attacks, you know, people call it different things. Then, so like I said, some people do just go straight to getting the medicine and thinking, you know, they'll help them. But when your thoughts are constantly intrusive, when you can't sleep is a big deal. When you're having trouble sleeping, like if you are having trouble staying asleep, that's, you know, can be a symptom of anxiety. When you're having trouble getting to sleep, like your mind is just always thinking about stuff, you can't get to sleep, that's an issue. Nightmares, you know, also can be a sign of needing, there's medicine that helps with that. And then of course, depression has a lot of physical symptoms that goes along with them. The retreat I just did with the veterans, we talk a lot about how your physical health is affected by your mental state. And, you know, when you're feeling down and depressed, you feel bad, like you don't have the energy. Like I said, your sleep is off. You don't have, maybe you eat too much, or maybe you're not eating enough. You don't feel like socializing and getting out and doing anything. So those kind of symptoms can affect you physically too. So it sometimes.
With the medicine, though, I'm. Well, how do you feel about natural medicine? Because I think from experience, people that I know is close to me on medicine, whether it be and they have anxiety or this, that, and the third or whatever, and they take these medication. Mm-hmm. The medication might calm them down for a minute or this, that, but in all actuality, there's stuff that is safer out there that's natural that does the exact same thing that pharmaceutical medicine that's killing folks. It's better. It's a better option than that. What's your views on that?
So I always say you got to make sure you have the right diagnosis. So if you just go into your primary care doctor and they, not really familiar with the mental health symptoms or the, mood disorder versus depression, you could get the wrong medication. You could, and that medication can have an adverse effect. Now, I definitely feel like some medications, especially ones that are addictive, you got to be, they've gotten better at kind of, not prescribing some of these things so easily and, telling you that you have to go to therapy first. And we're going to try that first. A good doctor will tell you that. Let's try therapy and see how it works. If it doesn't work, come back, right? And the therapist and the doctor may have a conversation. So, and I, like I said before, I always have people get their medical health. I say go get some blood work, because if your vitamin D is low, you're going to feel like you're depressed. If you're, don't have energy, take B12. There's supplements that you can take for sure that are helpful with some of the symptoms. But if you are predisposed to having depression because it's hereditary, there are definitely some diagnoses that are part of your bloodline.
Hold on. I don't know if we got enough time for this here. What do you mean? How can you prove that depression is hereditary? Depression is, and I'm gonna just say this.
It can definitely run in the family. It runs in the family. So and that's part of the generational issue, is that back then folks didn't talk about it because they didn't believe in it. So your grandma saw people or had heard voices, or a lot of times people cover stuff up with stuff.
Ain't that personal though? That's a personal. I don't. You said depression to be in your genes. You mean your genes? You tell my bloodline that I got depression as a gene, as a.
Yes.
Really, I never knew
that. Anxiety disorders. Like I said, I've had kids as young as 10 come in with some anxiety orders. OCD. Some of those things are hereditary. Now, there is always an argument about nature versus nurture, right? What you grew up around and learn from your parents, you take with you.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. When people say generational curses or this, that, and the third, I tell my wife all the time that I'm trying to work. I'm not trying to be like this or this, mom and dad, this, that, and the third, because I didn't seen this and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? That part. But I don't think that that's hereditary. I think, well, I guess you could say
there's a difference between the two. So there are definite generational curses. Can be physical health issues. Everybody got cancer. Everybody got high blood pressure. Everybody can have mental health issues. Like, it could be, your brain is a part of your body. It's still an organ, and it can still carry the gene of you being depressed or having, schizophrenia or.
This is why I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I just think that, and we're talking about mind, body, and spirit, and we're talking about our creator, and we don't make this religion, but there's a scripture that talks about when Paul was unhappy or not feeling the way he said to himself, I make my own self happy. And I have to remember that myself, that you can't depend on outside people. They can aid in your happiness, but your happiness and your mood depend on you.
Absolutely. But yes, if you and you can definitely have some control over how you live life, right? But some people, not everybody, some people need a medication to regulate those hormones that are going through their bodies and their brains. And there can definitely be imbalances. So in men and in women. If your testosterone drops, or if your I've had people, guys come in and their testosterone is too low, they are chronically depressed.
How do
Or
they
they
know?
might
They come and tell you they testosterone is
I got to talk to everybody, PJ, everybody.
Oh.
I can't say no, I ain't gonna talk to you because you ran. No, I talk to everybody, and I hear a lot.
Well, hey, just go ahead and tell the lady, hey,
And
my
and
testosterone is low.
like how you just thought right now, like you might not feel comfortable as a Black man coming to therapy if you're having erectile dysfunction, or if you're, but all of that can be driven mentally sometimes. It does not always, or you might not even understand why things like that are happening. It could be a hormonal issue. It could be the stress in your life.
Really? So you got guys coming there telling you that type of stuff?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Wow. I don't think I could go in there and tell no doctor. Hey,
how you gonna get it fixed?
Oh yeah, natural herbs and remedies, and changing your diet. You know what I'm saying?
That is important.
Bang
Yes.
juice
But if you're too depressed to do anything and you're not motivated, you're not gonna feel like it. Like you gotta, yeah. So and that might be, you just might be explaining the reason why Black men ain't coming to therapy, because they feel shame, or they embarrassed, or they feel like they can fix it themselves, right? And so
I'm glad you said that, because that's what it is. They probably don't feel like they can fix it themselves, because before I ever blue chew, bamboo root out, we gonna nip that in the bud. And no, not nip it in the bud. No, never mind. Let's oh my gosh. But anyway, I guess
that's the important part of creating a safe space, right? As that's my job, to create a safe space, like to be able to do that. So if you don't bring it up, like then if I understand that could be a symptom that you're experiencing, it's my job to ask you about that. And I'm not going to do it in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. That's, then that wouldn't be good.
No, that wouldn't be good. So, are you a Tyler Perry fan?
I am. I do watch some of his stuff. I haven't seen,
The Straw. You haven't seen that yet?
I haven't seen it yet. Nope. I keep hearing about it. Everybody's asking. I gotta see it.
I wanted to get your opinion on that movie, because and all the work that he does, because if you go by stereotypes or by Tyler Perry or the world, that Black women go through so much stuff.
We do.
And I think all humans go through stuff. I think Black women go through a lot of stuff too.
Absolutely. I think he definitely should do a movie, a male version of The Straw. Like, what does a man go through in a day? Because y'all go through some stuff too. Absolutely.
All the time. Yeah. And while we on this mental health, you're right. There's a lot of stuff that we won't talk about, and some things that we talk about, it falls on deaf ears as Black men, and it can be very traumatizing, and hold you back. But that's when you have to believe in your higher power. You have to dig down in yourself and say, "Hey, I got to pull myself up out this funk." And sometimes that's hard to do. I've been through some dark periods, and I just came out of a dark period for real. And
see, you got to know that you don't have to go through that by yourself. And that, like, when I go to these and do these retreats with the veterans, a lot of them have isolated themselves. And so once they meet somebody that tells them that you can get some help, usually it's another man telling them, you know, there is some hope out there. You can actually get some help for this. You don't have to sit and suffer by yourself in the garage or the basement or your man cave or whatever. You know, you don't have to do that. And they come out and they see and they hear different things that, you know, we talk about with them. And then they also hear and see amongst the group that they are not alone. They definitely, like, in 3 to 4 days, they leave feeling like a new person, like, you know, so it's pretty powerful to know that you're not by yourself.
Now, I got one more question for you, and it's a broad question, but right now in our city, you are aware of all the things that is happening, and it's always geared towards the demise of Black folks right now. So, being in the mental health world,
Mhm.
um, what advice can you give to the folks of Cincinnati right now that's fed up with the way things are going? What that's mental abuse, and we're not. That's mental abuse right now to keep having these same things happen to our community and feel
Yeah.
like nothing is getting done.
So, I mean, the best thing I can tell you is focus on what you have control over. You know, you, as much as we would like to have control over the system and make the changes, um, you got to focus on you and getting yourself and your surroundings and your people, your sons and daughters in the right state of mind, right? Because you have, everyone has a right to be angry about it. You have a right to your feelings about it. But you know, if you go out and you cause harm to somebody else, how is that helpful? Right. So
Mhm.
um that's what unfortunately the dad did. You know, he went out and he
I'm not
definitely
even talking about. Yeah, I'm not justifying the dad because I think
yeah,
that's something else. I'm talking about actually the son and the other gentleman that was done. You know, and how the city is doing. I know you're professional. You really can't speak on things
yeah,
of that nature like that. But as far as the mental health aspect and folks
mhm,
feeling wearing down, we can speak on that.
yeah. So
And
you know, I think being heard and having your feelings validated are really important to know. I'm not, you know, I'm not crazy. I know this is bad. This is it's wrong, right?
mhm.
And just, you know, I know a lot of times people just want their experiences validated. Like, do you understand how this hurts me, how this scares me, how this affects my family, my children, and my community, right? And so, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay, I think it went out for a second. Um, you know, just like I said, feeling heard and feeling seen is like it's so important to people. So, you know, make your voices heard to the right to by if you need to make a statement, go to city council meetings, whatever it is that you feel like you need to do within, you know, that's not going to get you in trouble. Do that, you know, but minimize your exposure to a lot of the negative conversations, the ones that are just going to incite more issues than fixing things. Try to be a part of the solution and not the problem.
I think that's let's give you a round of applause, Aja. I enjoyed the interview today. You know, we worked through all the technical difficulties. We can't stop the rain. We can't stop the rain. You know what I'm saying? But we know how to keep it moving and keep it pushing. So once again, go ahead and give the people a shout out to your business, how they can reach you and so forth.
Okay.
Hours.
You can definitely find me. Just, you know, Google my name. I would come up under like psychology today. I think he's got my name up, but it's AHJA Ahja Harris, HARIS, and I'm in the Middletown area is where my office is, and you can reach me. But my email address is Eagle Mindset LLC at gmail.com. That's a email address that you can utilize. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and those are some ways you can reach out to me as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Like again, I said, thank you for coming on to the show. Men's Mental Health, we just coming back. You know what I'm saying? So do our thing. Give our co-host, the big homie, a shout out. Give him a round of applause. Give Nadia a round of applause. And we're going to make it do what it do. And we're going to get up out of here. And like we say every Wednesday, don't be stuck on stupid and relaxed on dumb. See y'all next week. Thank you, Ahja.
Bye.
Right now,
Guess who? Nobody got nothing on us.
you're locked in to the greatest station, GrizzBiz, my 2 cents.